Adansini ba. Why are you're pushing Ukrono?
Oh yeah. Adansi abomodiama. Ghana nyina Adansini asante. Your contribution to Ghana ne doso. Now oko to South Africa now hwe baby a gold producing areas. Don't say the honum tiana se oko Adansi a. Areho. We say Enkoye nti me feel say nyamia dom na say yemubi yetumi kasana say tumi do echi we should use our platforms to project where we come from. Yeah.
This question, let's be Ghanaians. Let's be citizens.
Yeah.
Not spectators.
Debbie.
Do our leaders, our leaders from Kwame Nkrumah time to date, do you think they really sit down like the way in trans you tackle issue? Do you just sit down to think about Ghana? Do you think they do?
I've been quite privileged, Kakra. I've known from President Rawlings to Ukofo to Nana Akufo-Addo.
Okay.
And when you're President Rawlings, especially time of free office, no, because office days na me quarantine.
Yeah.
They all have a certain drive to see the betterment of this country. You know, and that's how it's supposed to be. Free. But sometimes you wonder, say, what happens when they're in office?
With their colleagues.
And what I've realized over time, they say, Senkofoko officer, the people around them, I think they contribute to the failure of our leaders.
And who do you blame?
Well, President Rawlings, for instance, had an open door policy. Obiya to make anytime. For the time of office or free office, just having conversations with him. He had his ears to the ground. He knew what's happening on the ground. National security, daily your friends saying security brief, somehow. Because you know how he came into office. No, he had to be abreast of what happened on the ground. He had to be with the people. But Charlie, it's sad, and I think they realize it more once they're out of office.
The reason why I'm asking this question is, as a PTA chairman of Upukuwari, you see my Ben schools, my Ben and Kora, and it pains me. But it looks like government has no policy for school sports. Is it any old like that? There's no policy. It is a Upukuwari decide not to do footballer.
Hammer, and I'll even go beyond. I think it's sports and the creative space and Yamana as entertainment, no. And Kofon Shada any interest was our area anymore. And it starts way back, back in the 50s after independence, 50s, 60s, 70s until ABA Rama Beduna first Oba or share that tonium. AJ could say no tonium with Oba voice.
Okay.
Because women, apart from singing in church, women were not encouraged to. And somehow sports back then say oba bade obi wa be chair ofie say me nyo obi am pese me wire na se nipa ko no tonyuma chese enya sempa o ke ba no wan fai odi obi be fie na nipa ko no yesi den obobola chese wan fai. And somehow, even though we've evolved and gone, we've seen people who are doing very well, musicians, footballers are talent, they are doing so well. No? Somehow, that's all still.
Meanwhile, it drew baby more players are represented country. No? It drew Olympic Games are just Ghana for yet you're not interested in building the foundation.
I'm not sure back in the day, people were in the secondary schools and they started right from primary and preparatory, almost free secondary school. Like they get enlisted into the security services. And that security service, as one was not a prison officer before.
Okay.
Security services and I normally started Olympic Games in the it started from there. Secondary schools. These guys were very popular. We all knew them. Very popular guys were your friends saying secondary schools, and then they end up in the security services, a bit more collaboration by BM, and then they had their own lives. But they've not been able to elevate it to where it's supposed to be.
And I'm a hope because it's all about books.
Debbie.
No,
I saw you 360 person.
Exactly. Now, say a school like Opoko, lack sporting facilities. Now it's a mama candidate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you go for ball, you can be my hockey player. Who rescue no many hockey pitcher, forget it.
Yeah.
Can be my athletes.
Yeah.
There's no running. You say, wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, who runs secondary school now say, oh, talent. To me, using it. Why? Because okay from one. I think I will try to, settle down. To say, oh, your junior crowd now, your footballer now, so other be a discipline be now. I think I will pick up a crack. By Form 2, maybe I think I will take a level.
Yeah.
Form 3, maybe I can be June.
What's it all?
You have to write exams.
I know.
No, I pass it out. So why? It's almost translate dream on mine home. And then a mum.
No, I reho, but I mean.
And you see, yes, and as I have a crowd, some parents will say they are jumping their children into secondary schools.
Yeah.
At GHS1, GHS2, they are control BC.
Yeah.
No secondary. The school now because 3 years and do 3 years.
Yeah.
You're rushing.
In actual fact, in do 3 years. In do 3 years.
Now I start jumping a crown from GHS1, GHS2 to second. Mr. Ogonen 13, 12 years. And as I crown because of best saying is.
Yeah, easily.
Almost
manipulate no part.
We don't say it's crying in the morning. K.O.D. You're crying by.
Yeah, but I mean, some of us have seen things out there. We know how things run outside. I see a buffy. And you're paying for any baby or honoma. Omo get educated only in Ghana. Omo to coin baby, omo kwa brochuri, omo who said the near material honum. Baby obe kwa obe who be FAB, I saw the buffy.
Yes.
No why and I said the honum. There's nothing wrong with bringing the blueprint home. I mean, why reinvent the wheel? Because we I honum that.
Me can't say papa I might be Mr. Oh dear, friends of Rita bodies. Friends. Oh, deny me. Also, and they say Titino. Also, a council is in Kakra.
Yeah.
Also, now set it now. Oh, my meaning, no news or crime.
Yeah.
18 days, super sonum chromas or glass. You jump because master. It's gradually a young baby, now look at any talent be also quackra. Come on, we are discussing this morning.
Yeah. No, it's not supposed to be like that. Kumasi stands on its own.
Yes.
Stands on its own. And so her talent, if we Kumasi about a crowd over time, actually incredible musicians. Me want Kumasi gospel musician. If it was gospel, it had to be Kumasi. What you say? I mean, Mishano Kumasi, the only said they go from house to house and up areas, normal to sing them, normal produce record, and then they come out and become known musicians. But they started from the communities. They didn't have to make it to Accra before.
And only Accra, forget it. Kumasi for your project, just a fan crying in a bit handle. They're wrong. Totally wrong. I bring your work people who can also do it.
Yep. Totally wrong. Debbie.
Damn, say.
Because I mean, Hammer say, funny say, you movie if you are something. I say me on crying. Na say me baby age me DB or Kumasi. Ebia more like I'm coming home.
Normal.
But would you be on
different?
Debbie.
Until Kumasi.
Debbie.
Also, on me handle project man.
Debbie.
Because of what I was in. Because of why?
Debbie. It's inappropriate.
I can you call it get somebody who can do the job?
Baby.
Say every time says can I the back command crane. And I do commander will be free for abaye. But I see sports sports ministry. No, I don't know how they are going to, they should do something about as a GES and ministry of sports.
I know, but these guys they all went to secondary school.
Yes.
What secondary school? No, what was it like? The football sports were very active within the secondary schools.
Yes.
Until why would you change it? Why would you take it out of the curriculum?
It's no interest here, Daddy. Okay, the question I asked one of Oma Misha say, Oma Yomotrans is a Sanyoma Basabasano. I need to free.
Yeah.
And I'm pim to the stand say they just want to do try and error.
Let me say, be more feel say we have to speed na econo. We have to focus more on academic activities. You know, just get the guys, the kids studying, just focusing on schoolwork and forget about the rest. But it doesn't happen that way.
And don't say any
President Clinton, who knows about saxophone?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, into Suya was school. What you say? Yeah, your president Nakufo-Addo used to manage musicians, you know, back in the 70s.
They didn't buy any refuge.
I don't know, Hammer. It's unfortunate, but you know, some of us jumped on his, you know, campaign in 2007 because, you know, we had a conversation with him and we knew that so be at creative space last year. I don't know better as here, but like I said, ABR, once they get into office, you know, they get engulfed with so much, and you know, people who are supposed to give them the right direction, also, there's so much on their table, say,
but also we are saying now those who are making money,
yeah,
they want more talent.
Of course, they're talent.
Just sportsmen,
yeah. Globally,
they are making money.
Creative people.
And it's a honest free bar.
I mean, Elon Musk. I think last month, maybe if you guys Obiabe overtaken this year as the wealthiest person in the world, and the Bakrono only about 4 of the major clothing brands in the world. Yeah, or only entire, you know, designer entire. This year, the richest person on the planet. And are creative on your lawyer and I say your friend saying Professor B and I say accountant and BB. Let me give you an example, using myself as an example. Me who said me at 360 creative. I spend more time doing creative stuff. I me at 360 pound me free drawing, painting, singing. I've produced music before. Any element of creativity. That's all I am.
Which is money.
Me who?
So me bay
ye then or didn't brab. I know. I could reform wage maybe no best way. It is that time in the 80s name na Joyce I and Saturday from secretary, so a secretary for education. Okay. And she was our neighbor, Warrage State House. And that could be my neighbor Bonkomo say, Auntie Joyce, oh fast way there. On person in life ye be division, no. And this is how she put the words my mother used where Opesongi no better than a public toy.
Oh, you be doing grow. Also, okay, it looks like I say almost first about time.
I want tie. Yeah, me bunny a crutch. I may say Miss I say about time temper.
Because what time because
every.
What? Sometimes I don't know. I say, even tourism.
Yeah.
Yeah, tourism is a levy.
Yeah.
Again, Omo Beshe say Obiba Kumasi Sisia say Fanichinia. What did I say? Why is still BBR?
Meba Usho Isoyi. Me uncle for you met them yesterday.
Yes.
Me now for 4 by 6. Americans are Omo Santida. Omo Abagana for the very first time. And Kofi Yadam for Uko Kumasi there. Come on, it's an opportunity for us to go to Kumasi, and it's a very monumental time because it's 150 years after Sagrenti War. And all the activities around it, you know, a very special time. 25 years of Otumfo on the Golden Stone in the Yamanti. So Uko Kumasi there and aside that, I me dream say, Kumasi aye be. It's a damn pani
roads to those places are bad.
Yeah.
Okohangasa. Also, they're not making money to make sure how they need.
Yeah.
And you know, 1 year down.
I can't show the last 8 years. Mako South Africa 5 times, and your trips I they are sponsored by South African Tourism. Now, I'm 5 weeks now. They go South Africa. You need your tickets now.
Yeah.
And the idea behind it, they say, so you take pictures, sightseeing, maybe I'll be try pictures, I'll be post you on social media. People will see. It will motivate people to go to South Africa. 2 years ago, 2 years ago in the last year, May annual fashion events, rhythms on the runway, South African tourism, Besponzai.
Can you imagine?
They came all the way. They came to sponsor my event because they know the essence. And so the way they created their sets,
to project
what they do. They brought their friends and wines. They brought their from South Africa
to promote their brands.
On the blue carpet, it was a green carpet then. Green carpet, no. Area all day. And they were having conversations with people and selling South Africa to them. There's one word. We have to be intentional if we want things to work well.
Sit down.
We have to be intentional. Say, no, this is the agenda. You know, one of the greatest, for me, probably one of the greatest things that Nana Akufo-Addo in his time in office here, the year of return. Look at the number of people who have been to Ghana. Were
we ready for that?
We're not ready. And the Macron come baby and go for.
What did you say? Many you Kasai. That time was it. Edem Adupokumo.
Yeah.
Those guys. Afrochella.
Yeah.
No, Charlie. In February, Kumasi. Kofi. Kumasi. I now for them. Charlie. Logistics. No. Oh.
No. All kind of logistics. As in because in your brain, you have to see the free Accra never.
About the setup, the blah 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 blah. I know who they say. So set a number in Accra. That be nice, no. ABA 1,000 cities.
Yeah.
So what time the same setup?
Transportation.
Kumasi do be 12,000.
Yeah.
12,000. The purchasing power. Kumasi, can they afford the gate fees and it also.
Yeah, I mean, as a business person, you'd also look at that. If you have a huge sponsorship, it makes sense. If you have a huge sponsorship and they're ready to, invest in that kind of thing and take it from Accra, Beko Kumasia, that's okay. But that's another area. And Koma is able sponsorship in the creative space. The only time these potential sponsors, basic creatives, and let me use the musicians as an example. A time on my annual end of year party. And I say launch product be or campaign or young pay entertainment be family saying I go for money buy young musician be my fame. That's the only time they need us. When we're having a major event, I'm an event producer, I'm an event person. Charlie, we struggle a lot.
I know.
Sometimes you want to even stop.
That's not me. After All White Party 2007, Red and White Party 2009, League of Legends 2014.
I'm a white party, so yeah.
Boys are
oh, I get there, Hammer.
Also before. Maybe it's high event. No Kumasi.
Yeah.
Event organizer. Nobody see what for all the time. Most of the artists you have to survive by no amount. It's Obi Ebeshua. So my white party was with all the stars. Kwame Uswan,
oh, bless him.
The Mentor Group, Marco Krikumante, and Reggie Rockstone, Mark Brown. You so many now about Kumasi. It was fun. 2 nice same and I feel man for GD. So what if event organizers? So nipa 10 and I try events in Ghana. You move 2 penalty me at once.
Sustain, yeah. And to get an event running for like 5 years.
Why are you?
This year. Yeah, everything's on the runway. This year, this year, 13th edition. It's not been easy.
Last year, measure some K.O.D into me, but until be and I only make
oh yeah, all sizes and shapes. So hammer.